Hi my precious moons. Welcome to part 4. No more time for chit chat. Love you lots. Enjoy. The two of them glanced at each other briefly before Matson started towards the foyer, ignoring Maki's apologetic expression. Maki? Matson? Here. Maki walked in behind Matson, his head down. He was bummed, but there were more important matters. Where is he? They were about to answer when they froze at the sight of Iwaizumi walking in behind him. What the fuck? Lunch in downtown? Hey guys. Iwaizumi shuffled awkwardly and shrugged. He drove me. But that doesn't matter. Where's Toki? Oh yeah. His bedroom still. Alright. Aiko walked off towards Toki's room. The others followed them, Maki and Matson because they too were concerned for their self-proclaimed nephew, and Iwaizumi because he was nosy. Aiko paid no attention to them, hardly even noticed them. The only thing on his mind was Toki. He knocked on the door softly, his face panicked but his voice softer than ever. Toki-chan? It's me. There was no answer so he tried the handle. It was locked. Toki-chan, what's wrong? Talk to me. Iwaizumi leaned closer to the other two. So, is anyone gonna tell me who Toki is? Well you see. Guys seriously. If it's a boyfriend or something you can tell me it's okay. Boyfriend? PFFT. Dude just shut up. Please. Iwaizumi huffed and looked back at Aiko, though he was a little relieved that Toki wasn't Aiko's boyfriend. Please? Go away. Toki. You said you'd be back when the clock said 12. I know. I'm sorry. How can I get you to forgive me? Everyone held their breath as the doorknob started twisting. Toki emerged, wrapped in a blanket with his eyes puffy and his nose snotty. Iwaizumi stumbled back, almost losing his balance had Matson not caught him. Don't do it again. Aiko frowned and crouched down to be on his level. I won't. You have to promise. Pinky promise. Aiko nodded seriously and held out his pinky. I pinky promise to never not come home on time again. Toki hesitated but linked their pinkies together. He sniffed and furrowed his brows. And you have to make me milk bread. For a whole week. Aiko cracked a smile and the others were trying not to laugh. Deal. Toki grinned and ran towards Matson. Carry me. Toki. Please. Haha okay little man. Toki hopped onto Matson's back and they ran off towards the kitchen with Toki yelling something about milk bread. Maki glanced at Aiko and Iwaizumi and smirked. So. Lunch in downtown eh? Not the time Maki. Right yeah. He then followed off to the hooligans, leaving the two of them alone. Aiko took one glance at Iwaizumi's stunned face and sighed, moving to close Toki's door. You have a kid? He's yours? Like. Yours? Aiko rolled his eyes and picked up Toki's blanket, folding it the way he liked it best. Pretty sure. You. How? Do you want an explanation because you should have learned that in sex ed? Can you cut the crap? It's normal for me to be shocked in this situation. Sorry. I'm just a little defensive when it comes to Toki. Why didn't you tell me you had a kid? I just found out myself actually. She never told me. How old is he? 6. 6. But we've been. I know. If you're thinking I cheated on you then you're wrong. I hooked up with someone after you broke up with me. It helped so. And now you have a kid? Is he just visiting or? No. I have full custody now. Wow that's a big step. Aiko furrowed his brow. Well yeah but it's not like I'm not ready for it. Aiko. I'm a 26-year-old man Iwaizumi. I think I'm perfectly capable of raising my child. I know that, but what about your career and Iwaizumi? Iwaizumi stopped, his eyes wide as he looked at the resolute look on Aiko's face. If it comes down to my career or my son, I will choose Toki every damn time. Besides, you don't know that much about my life now to judge. I wasn't judging Koa. I would never judge you over something like that. Good. You said you want me as a friend, right? Yes. I come as a package deal now. Take it or leave it. Iwaizumi stared at Aiko, making him flustered. Why would I ever turn down an offer like that? Aiko's eyes widened at the sudden race of his heart, but he quickly diverted his eyes, his cheeks tinted pink. Good. Toru. Milk bread. Toki came running down the hall, grabbing Aiko's hand and yanking him forward. Please. Aiko laughed and nodded, happy to be in his presence. Alright. Do you want to help me? Can we prank Uncle Mac? You read my mind, little me. Toki stopped when he caught sight of Iwaizumi. Iwaizumi froze, his nerves showing. What's your name? Iwaizumi. Iwazumi? Not quite. Iwazumi? No, it's Zumi. Toru, can I call him Zumi? You can call him anything you want. Aiko. Toki smiled up at Iwaizumi, shooting him in the heart with cuteness overload. Nice to meet you, Zumi. It's nice to meet you too. Are you Toru's friend? Iwaizumi smiled and relaxed a little. Yeah, I am. Toki nodded but still looked up at Aiko for reassurance. He is. Good, so he won't tell Uncle Mac about the prank? PFFT. Is that what you're worried about? Aiko leaned down and smirked. Wanna know a secret? Yes. Iwa-chan and I used to prank Uncle Mac all the time back in school. Really? Toki looked up at his dad and Iwaizumi in amazement. That's so cool. Aiko grinned and ruffled the boy's hair. Go on, we're right behind you. Toki ran off excitedly. Aiko watched him go with a soft smile, and Iwaizumi watched Aiko with the same soft smile. He's kinda great. I know, right? You can definitely tell he's my kid. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Come on, we have to go make milk bread and mischief. Don't forget that you called me Iwa-chan. I did no such thing. You did. I didn't. You're a liar. A pretty one. Call me Iwa-chan again. Iwaizumi. Iwa-chan. Iwaizumi. Iwa-zumi. Iwaizumi sighed, but his lips still curled up in a smile. I really did miss you. Aiko's eyes widened and he cleared his throat awkwardly. Come on, let's go. He walked off towards the kitchen and Iwaizumi had no choice but to follow. So, are you guys gonna stay all night or? They were all squeezed into the tiny living room, sitting on the floor together while Toki watched another Disney movie. Well, it is our place. Yeah, seems like we have free reign. You got somewhere to be? Fine, geez, I was just asking. Aiko rolled his eyes fondly. He missed these idiots. But I think we should go, Matson. What? Why? Don't tell me it's because Iwa-chan is here because I'm not moving. Matson, you idiot. Aiko threw them a scowl while Iwaizumi laughed. All in all, it seemed like a typical hangout with the four of them. I'm not going home just for you to yell at me. I'm not going to yell at you, Matson. You're yelling at me now. Ahoho. Is there tension? I think there's tension. Shut up. Aiko and Iwaizumi looked away, trying to hide their smirks, while Maki and Matson stared each other down. We're going home. This couch is really comfortable at the moment. Matson, please. I want to talk to you. Yeah, well, I don't. You said all you needed to say. Matty. Madsen huffed and turned away, leaving Maki to stare at him despondently. Aiko tried to get attention, but it was no use. He looked down at where Toki sat on the floor. He seemed focused on the movie, but his body was unusually tight. Aiko cocked a brow and checked the time, needing an excuse to sweep his son away. Come on Toki. Your mama will be expecting her call. Toki jumped at the sudden noise but quickly nodded and lifted up his arms. Aiko scooped him up safely. Then we will get you to bed. I don't wanna. Too bad, so sad. Mama waits. Go go go. Toki giggled as Aiko hauled him out of the room, making the others laugh. He carried Toki to his room and sat him down on the bed. Before he called Nakamura, he wanted a few seconds alone with Toki. Are you okay? Toki kept his head down, playing with his fingers. Aiko sat down on the bed to be closer to him. Are you upset? Can you tell me why? Toki seemed to contemplate his answer for a moment, scrunching up his face in the process, before looking up at Aiko with those big innocent eyes. I don't like it when Uncle Matt and Uncle Mac fight. Aiko nodded, so he was right. Toki had been listening to them. Do they fight a lot around you? No. I heard them yelling at each other outside my door today. And now, but that's it. Right, they don't usually fight a lot. So it's scary when it happens, right? A little. It's okay to feel like that. Sometimes it even scares me. Toki giggled softly and then climbed up Aiko until he could wrap his tiny arms around his neck. Aiko almost melted. You don't have to worry about them, okay? Sometimes they fight, but I've never seen two people more in love. You love? Yes, love Toki-chan. Just like I love you. Aiko flipped Toki over onto the bed, tickling him relentlessly. Toki squealed and laughed, kicking all over. Ah. Stop. Ahahaha. Aiko was laughing too when he pulled away, humored by the out-of-breath Toki laying boneless on the bed. He smiled softly and leaned down to kiss his head. I love you, Toki-chan. I love you too, Toru. Now let's call your mama. Toki sprung up, a wide genuine smile on his face. Okay. Aiko pulled out his phone and dialed the number, handing his phone to Toki, who was jumping up and down with excitement. Hello? Mama. Hi my little son. How was your day? It was good. Uncle Mac and Uncle Matt watched me until Toru came home, and guess what? What? Uncle Matt bought me a video game. Really? That's so sweet. I hope you said thank you. I did, and then we played for hours. Aiko sat down beside him as he animatedly told Nakamura about his day. Once he started dropping, Aiko helped him lay down and tucked him in. Good night, mama. Sleep tight. Don't let the bedbugs bite. Good night, my son. As soon as Toki's eyes closed, Aiko took the phone and checked him over once more before leaving the room. He leaned against the wall outside to continue the call. Hey. Hey Koa. Is he asleep? Yeah, he is. He was worn out. I'm happy to hear it. He's always wanted people to play with. How are you feeling? Fine. Mura. Really, Koa? I'm fine. I'm having one of my better days actually. That's good. I've been hoping this COVID restriction would lift so we can come see you. Koa. I know. Wishful thinking and all that. Koa, I'm not going to be here much longer. I'm on hospice, remember? I'm on borrowed time as it is. Aiko felt his eyes well up. He knew. He just didn't want to know. How much longer? A week maybe. 2 at the most. Aiko leaned further into the wall and slid down it, his head in his hands. I can't do this without you. Koa. I know that's selfish to say, but it just sucks. Nakamura laughed sadly on the line. Yeah. It does. Oh hey. How did your meeting go today? Aiko sniffed and laughed a little at her astounding ability to move on from anything. It went really good, Mura. Really? Yeah. In 2 seasons' time it'll all be mine. Wow. That's incredible, Koa. I'm very proud of you. Thanks, Mura. Hey, can I ask you a question? Sure. About Toki. Has he ever locked himself in his room before? Oh, he did that finally, huh? Yeah. Haha, don't worry so much about it. He's going to be doing it a lot more. Wait, why? It's just how he copes with things, Koa. What do you mean? I can explain it better tomorrow. I'm really tired, I think I'm going to pull a Toki. Okay. Sleep well. I love you, Mura. Love you too. Aiko smiled as he heard her voice soften, meaning she was falling asleep on the phone just as Toki was. With great effort, he hung up and collected himself before walking back down the hall. As soon as he turned the corner though, he came face to face with Iwaizumi. Jesus Christ, you scared me. Were you listening to my call? I didn't mean to. I was going to the bathroom and I heard you and I don't know why I stopped. Iwaizumi, stop. I don't care, it's just a little odd. Yeah. So that was Toki's mom? You guys close? Aiko narrowed his eyes but answered anyway. Yeah. Oh. Cool. Look, I can see all those questions whizzing around in your brain, but hold them for another time, Kay. I'm exhausted. You love her? Aiko sighed, knowing it would come to this. Yes. As much as someone should love the mother of their child. But not like I loved you, Iwa. Iwaizumi stopped, his eyes wide. There's nothing between me and Mura if that's what you're asking. Okay. Aiko stared at him a moment longer, wondering why he suddenly felt happy that Iwaizumi was jealous. He shook himself out of his thoughts and started back towards the living room. Come on, Maki and Matsun are waiting. Actually, they're not. Aiko turned back to Iwaizumi with a cocked brow. They left. Maki finally managed to drag Matsun out the door. There was a lot of yelling though. Aiko sighed and pinched his nose. Do you even know what happened between them? Not a clue. Do you think it's too rude to ask them to have their arguments in private? Iwaizumi furrowed his brow in genuine confusion. I mean, they've never really bothered us before. Toki was shaken up. Apparently they were fighting before we got here too. Iwaizumi's eyes widened and something like rage flashed on his expression. If Aiko had blinked he would have missed it. I'll talk to them. Excuse me. You're leaving too? Yeah, well, I probably should get going. I'll see you later, yeah? Aiko nodded, wondering why his heart felt heavy. You will. Iwaizumi smiled and walked past him towards the door. If you need anything, you know where I am. Aiko snorted and glanced over his shoulder at him. Thank you, Iwa. Iwaizumi flushed and quickly made his way out the door. Aiko sighed heavily and leaned against the wall, feeling the emptiness of his apartment now encapsulate him.